Well, welcome all. We are thrilled to have you here for our information session on the University of Chicago's Graduate Student at Large program. Welcome to our gorgeous university, which of course is 60 degrees today in February, as it always is here in Chicago. And we showed this photo not just to show the riches and beauty of our campus, but also because this is the place where, should you become a graduate student at large, the overwhelming majority of your classes would be. So over the next 50 minutes together, we want to welcome you. We want to give you a snapshot of graduate student at large. We want to go through the timeline if you want to be an applicant, and then we want to answer your questions. And so let me start by welcoming the four guests that we have. I guess I'll start with myself. I'm Seth Green. I'm the dean here at the Graham School. This is genuinely the jewel of our school. This is the origin because we were intended as a unit to extend the extraordinary intellectual assets of the university. And this is the ultimate extension because it's a chance for individuals who may not be yet ready to pursue a full degree or who may need additional study before they can pursue that degree to come in and be part of any part of the University of Chicago's graduate system and really try on the extraordinary intellectual environment, test out what programs might be right for them, and ultimately make a great decision for their graduate school and for their future. And so with that, let me turn it over to Esther, and then we'll turn it over to our two GSAL alums. Esther, who are you?
Who am I? Well, I am the director of the Graduate Student at Large suite of programs, which includes a Graduate Student at Large, Graduate Student at Large Business, and Returning Scholar program. I am thrilled to see faces on camera and names in the chat boxes, and I hope that today will just be the first connection we make, and I will get to know all of you so you can share your goals and your stories. And so we can see how our programs can help you academically, intellectually, professionally, and certainly for yourself. So welcome again.
And Cole Simner is an alumnus of GSAL, although he is no stranger to the university because he's now in a master's program here in computer science. And so, Cole, can we start with you? Can you tell us just a little bit about yourself and your background?
Hi, I'm Cole. I was a GSAL student. I took a bunch of data science and computer science courses when I was part of the program. Before that, I did kind of like a business management background undergraduate, went and did consulting and then product management for a few years, and decided that I needed more computer science fundamental education. So I decided come to GSAL and then get a graduate degree. And talk about what I'm currently working on, but that's the background.
Wonderful. Thank you, Cole. And Ashvin is an alumnus of our GSAL B, with the B standing for business or Chicago booth. And so, Ashvin, can you tell us a little bit about your background?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Seth. Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. I'm Ashwin. I am, like Seth said, a GSAL B student. I graduated in 2020 from GSAL B and went on to pursue my Chicago Booth MBA. So I graduated in June 2024. Happy to talk through my experience and learnings and pro tips. Very happy to be here.
Wonderful. Well, we're going to come back to Esther, Ashvin, and Cole throughout this afternoon. Let me give you a snapshot of the program. So if you're in this virtual room with us, you probably know that GSAL and GSAL-B are opportunities to take classes a la carte across the University of Chicago. Those classes are with our very best faculty. They provoke really important discussion and inquiry. And you, alongside the class, are a full student of the university with access at a full level to all of the extraordinary intellectual and other resources of a world-renowned institution. The way that we approach GSAL is really to create an inclusive academic environment. So one of the things that's a hallmark of our program, which is different from others of its type at peer universities, is that you are a full and complete member of the university. You're treated as every other student would be, and you therefore have the same access and experience. So all of your grades are recorded, of course, on a transcript and are formal credits that are from the University of Chicago. You have an opportunity, and many people use this as they're building their graduate school applications, to request letters of recommendation from faculty that you might be in the class of, including to programs to our own university. And you have access to personalized advising through Esther, Marla, and the extensive team here to support course selection and even prepare your graduate school applications. There are 3 programs within GSAL. We'll talk about each of them a bit, and we'll hear from Cole and Ashman about 2 of them. A graduate student at large is a chance to sample courses across any of the divisions or professional schools of the university, except the Pritzker School of Medicine and Chicago Booth. But move over one, and you'll see that GSAL Business is just the name of the pathway if you want to take that course in Booth. And then finally, we have an opportunity for those who are in the lifelong learning moment who want to audit classes, and that we call returning scholars. And we'll just acknowledge that there is a totally independent process of admissions at the university. So being part of this program does not in any way influence that decision. But we can say that 36% of GSAL alumni have moved on to graduate programs within UChicago. And just like we would do if you were going to another university, which many of our GSAL alums also do, we're eager to provide counseling and do our best to support you in putting your best foot forward. So let me just share a little bit about the GSAL program, which, as you've heard, is really a chance to take your courses across any of the divisions. That's physical and biological sciences, humanities, and social sciences. It's also our law school, our Harris School, which is a public policy, our social work school, Crown. So it's really a chance to go across the university. You also have full access to university resources, libraries, fitness center, and that also includes, obviously, there's a place where there is constant intellectual activity and networking, and you have exposure at a full level to all of those extraordinary aspects of the university. Within the business school, you have the same opportunity. You can take classes at one of the top-ranked university business schools in the world. You also can transfer credits. So if you apply and are admitted to a Booth MBA program, 3 courses that you take during GSAL, which might be to test out whether you want to do business school, could then be used toward your degree should you move forward in that direction. And then finally, you can take part in networking opportunities just as you would in GSAL, in this case, more likely with business professionals and our esteemed Nobel Prize winning Booth faculty. I'll just say again that one of the jewels of this program is that you're taking classes with the very best, and you're choosing them based on your intellectual interests and based on where you want to head in your future. There are some characteristics that we notice that go across all of our GSAL students. This is a community that is infinitely curious, that is really serious about academic inquiry, that is innovative, and that is highly collaborative. And one of the beauties that we'll talk about, I'm sure, is it is a community. And so Esther, in particular, as the curator of that community, is regularly having happy hours and other opportunities for people to really learn from each other, because a lot of you are in this moment where you're thinking about what grad program may you want in your future. And there's not only value in the resources we have, but in that peer-led opportunity to discuss and decipher what's next. But let me not be the person to tell you all about this. We have 3 experts in the room, so to speak. And so I'm going to spotlight them, and I'm actually going to take down my screen because we'd love to see them fully. There we go. Hello again. So let me start, Cole and Ashvin, with both of you. I'd love to hear a little bit about what motivated you to apply, Cole to GSAL and Ashvin to GSAL B, and how did you see it fitting into your long-term academic and career goals? And Cole, can we start with you?
Yeah, so I kind of mentioned my undergraduate experience. I hadn't really taken any course computer science classes or just technical courses in a long time, and I didn't have a whole lot of that on my transcript. So I wanted more basically shots at difficult technical classes where I could, and this is all like pre-AI, where I could showcase like, yes, I can do the thing. So yeah, for me, it was all about just like getting the reps in and being able to show that I could do the classes at a fairly high level.
Awesome. And Ashwin, can we ask the same question to you?
Yeah, sure. That's a great question. I think I've had a long IT career and I really wanted to go to grad school. And it was my goal to upskill and hone my leadership skills. And it has always been a dream to go to one of the top schools. And this is right in my backyard. So it was really an easy approach to gaining those skills. And I have had formal education through my school in India, so a lot of this experience is unique and different. So, just familiarizing with the rigor, the academic setting, and connecting with, as you said, top-notch professors and students alike. It's been, one of those reasons why I thought this was a great experience, and also. Balancing work, life, and school was another important reason I wanted to check out GSAL B to understand what it would take and feel confident. So those are some reasons.
Well, so we're gonna go now from the start, why you came, to the end, and then we'll fill in the middle. But what was the most valuable aspect for each of you of the Graduate Student at Large program? Ashwin, can we start with you?
Yeah. Apart from the community, as you mentioned, Esther does a phenomenal job of connecting you with various people who have really different backgrounds, different unique learning experiences, and you learn from each other and learn from them. And just familiarizing with the different departments. There's a Rastandi Center, there's a School for Public Policy, so on and so forth. And it's all those recommendations, the letters, and preparation for the next step. I think those are all good, valuable aspects from the program in academy, in shaping your professional journey through this program.
Well, so Cole, can we come to you? What's most valuable?
Yeah. So on the subject of community, the GSAL program is really just part of the University of Chicago. So if you're curious about University of Chicago things, it's all right there. So, you know, being part of GSAL really just enabled me to just delve into everything that is UChicago, whether it's research, networking events, hackathons, and I did some of that stuff. And that was just really impactful. And like I even got at one point like invited to a research presentation like by a professor that I run into at JCL like all the time. So yeah, I think the community is really just the biggest thing.
Well, so let's talk about your experience. So, we've said this, but I just want to maybe hear from you. You're intended to be treated like any other student. Can you just talk about the classroom experience? Did that happen? Were you just in the mix, as any other student would be? Did your professors kind of treat you differently than the, degree bearing, whether they were PhD or master's degree candidates?
Yeah.
Ashley?
So
Oh, yeah, go for it, Cole.
Go for it, Cole.
okay.
Yeah.
So my first class was kind of a mix of data science students, financial mathematics students, and some computer science students. So I think there was this kind of like ambiguity about what department everyone came from. No one, I think, cared in the slightest or really even asked. I think that the whole "what department are you in" thing came up towards like week 8, week 7, week 8. The professors didn't know, I think, or I think they may have known, but they didn't particularly care. It was just like, hey, we have a class to teach. You're in the class, sit down and let's get started. And that's kind of been consistent both throughout GSAL and like just all of my computer science classes. Like I think we've had like undergrads or PhDs and actually, yeah, PhDs and undergrad in some of my classes, and you don't really know who's who till like the end.
Ashwin, anything to add?
Yeah, funny for me it was the actual opposite because I was pre-qualifying whenever I would speak in class that I am a GSAL B student because I was so surprised at how normal and indifferent it was that everybody's on the same plane and you're literally sitting shoulder to shoulder with them and learning together and there's nobody treats you any different than any other student, professors, students alike. I think logistically some folks have familiarity with groups. They are moving as a cohort. So um, also that imposter syndrome. This is the first class I'm taking and trying to get my footing, right? but I felt very comfortable, very easy to assimilate myself, and the focus is learning, right? Everybody's there to do that, so it was very easy. In fact, the professors are helpful. I mentioned to them, this is my goal. I want to take the next step to apply to Chicago Booth. So they are keeping that in their background and give you a recommendation if you ask them. So it was really a very fruitful experience.
Well, so let's kind of dwell on that for a moment, Ashwin, because
Mm.
how did your experience help shape your graduate school decision and then your application? And then we'll come to Cole on the same question.
Yeah. I'm a kind of a person who is very organized. I want to be prepared, and my goal is to eliminate any confusion, any uncertainty as much as I can. So that is why I came to this
Spoken like
program.
someone that works at a central bank.
Such bank is. So true to my focus, I wanted to sort of understand how hard or easy is it to sit in a class like this? How difficult or rigorous is this programs? Can I even do this with my family, my work commitments, so on and so forth? So it prepared me. I think the uncertainty went right out the door as soon as I understood, you need to show up to class, do your homework, focus on the learning, and make those connections, right? These are lifelong friends of yours, network with them, and really absorb everything that's coming your way. So it helped me prepare and organize very well. And Esther and team, their goal is to make you successful, right? They are helpful in preparing your application, so you can. It's almost like a trial before the actual process. So you are reiterating, you're learning from your mistakes, you're preparing, so you make the best application there is. And throughout the process, the team is very helpful, very supportive, and I was really, really well prepared as I was making my application and when I finally submitted it.
Well, and Cole, can we hear about your experience?
Yeah. Just to clarify, the question was how did it shape your application and decision?
Well, and decision, because I think you were not maybe 100% sure when you joined where you might go for grad school. Am I right about that? And so
Oh
curious
yeah,
how
yeah,
it
yeah.
influenced your thinking about where to go and then how it actually helped prepare you to go there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so I think that like being unsure of where I wanted to go and exactly what I wanted to go do, I think it helped me find the different kind of subjects and explore different things. Like actually sat in on quite a few more classes than I actually like registered for. So that was pretty helpful. Just like meeting people at the university, getting acclimated, like what is this? Like, are they teaching things that I want to learn? That sort of thing. I think it was kind of like a first class seat in tr trying that out, so to speak. And then when it came to actually applying, because I mean, I'm from here, so it was like kind of like, oh yeah, this is somewhere that I'd want to go. It was on my short list, so to speak. I think that being part of GSAL really allowed me to like tailor my application to UChicago because I wasn't speaking from like a hypothetical perspective. It was really like, I am at UChicago. These are the things that I'm doing. Here have been my experiences, and I'd like to continue. And I think if I were someone reading my application, I think it would have come off very differently and a lot more like close to home, so to speak.
Well, I'm curious to just hear a little bit about your experience at the University of Chicago. How is the academic environment here? Was it intimidating? I think you mentioned imposter syndrome, Ashvin, and obviously you all ended up staying. But, what was it like to be in our classrooms? And for people that are maybe thinking about whether this is part of their journey, should they have imposter syndrome? Ashvin, can we start with you?
Yeah, as I mentioned, I wasn't sure about the etiquette or the norms of going to a grad school in the US. This was my first time, and people are very easygoing, and I think the the business school is a replica of your work environment, right? There are different people with different background, different diversity, different thinking. So it sort of made it easy for me to readjust in an academic setting. And I was able to talk to several individuals, with similar backgrounds as mine, and understand what their goals were, what are the do's and don'ts, and just the culture and the technical rigor, I think was, motivating enough for me to say this is great academic experience. And I think these are world-class professors, and you can talk to them about anything, and they are so easy and approachable that apart from the classroom learning, you can also ask them about life, your career goals, and how do you navigate, the markets and things like that. So it's very, fruitful, full, wholesome experience.
And Cole, can we just hear what was it like for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you're always, if you're somewhere that you want to be and that you should be, you're going to have imposter syndrome. I mean, this does not, it's not just about GSAL. I think it definitely extends into your graduate kind of career. I mean, just from a computer science perspective, like, being in GSAL or being part of the CS master's program, like, you're going to meet people who have sold companies at 25 and like, that we have like, I'm in a class right now and we have a leaderboard for code runtime and you think you're fast, and then some kid who's like a undergraduate math major comes in and he's like 50% faster than you. And yeah, so I think imposter syndrome is kind of something that doesn't go away if you're where you should be. And I think it's like kind of a healthy, you have to manage it, but I think yeah, you will feel it. I think it's probably good to feel it if you feel like you're the smartest person in the room. That's probably not the room you want to be part of, so to speak. But yeah, I mean, I think that it was very manageable. The professors and the TAs are always like receptive to questions, and people are very collaborative. People are very nice here. I found like they can be a little introverted, but if you actually talk to people, they're very willing to help, and like they'll stop on the street and help you if anything like comes up. So yeah, it's there, but it's very manageable. If that
Great.
answers the
Well, and
question.
Billie Jean King said pressure is a privilege, so you should
Yeah.
welcome it in your life. I mean, Esther, can we come to you? 'Cause I want to talk about, your vision for this. It's, I mean, really why Ashman and Cole are having such a great experience. You want this to be inclusive. You want people to feel fully embedded. You want it to be a community in its own right. Can you just talk about how you direct GSOL in a way that aims to almost serve as concierge learning, where people come in, they talk about their interests and goals. You then help to match them into the right pathway and then really work to connect them with the right people and embed them in the community.
This is exactly true. Concierge learning is exactly what we do. We have a team. We get to know each student from the time when they're a prospective student. We get to know who you are. You may not be sure, like Cole wasn't sure it was computer science, but we really sort of connect you with the different departments, different faculty members. We have an incredible academic workshop culture here at the University of Chicago. Every quarter, there are more than 400 academic workshops. We will help you to figure out which academic workshop might be of interest to you, connect you to the graduate students who are leading those workshops, faculty, all the different policy institutes and research centers here on campus. I think Ashwin mentioned Rustandi. There are so many, institutions and labs here on campus. So really, if we do our jobs well, the more we know you, the more we connect you and curate for you. Our office is like that central office that really connects you to all the different research opportunities, courses, all sorts of resources at the university to make you feel that you're a fully engaged member of the University of Chicago community. And at the end of the day, we will help you choose the class with the help of the faculty member that this is the right time for you, it is the right level of the class for you, so that you will end up doing very well.
And I know, Esther, you often meet with prospective students just
Yes.
to, talk with them about their goals. I mean, if possible, do you want to just put in the chat your
That's the best part. I will share my booking form as well as my email address, and I'm hoping very much that everybody will connect directly with me. That's my
Great.
email.
Yeah, and I'll just share that we are eager to answer your questions. We'll
Yeah,
do that in a group setting in a moment, so
yeah,
please chat them in. But we also welcome you to set up time with Esther to talk individually,
yes,
because usually people are coming to this program because they have very specific goals and
yes.
questions, and we find it's often the best way to support people. So last question, Ashman and Cole, and then we're going to move on, and then we're going to come to questions in the chat. Can you just talk about what it's like to be part of the GSAL community in particular? Is that meaningful, and do you feel like you were connected with other graduate student at large participants? Ashman, can we start with you?
Yeah, I'll pick it up from where Esther left off. I remember I literally messaged her or emailed her on a Sunday. The application must have been due on a Monday, but she still did respond to me. She's like, "Yes, you should go ahead and do it." So that's how responsive Esther is, and right off the bat, you feel that support. So I felt always as part of that community, through the application process, the team is your sounding board. Your success is what they're after. And like I mentioned, I think I had my focus was on sustainability. I wanted to do a program where I could sort of experience business and sustainability together. And I talked to Esther about Rostandi and how they are helpful in that journey and exposure and recommendations, through GSALB and through connecting with professors and just the overall culture of every week check-ins, reminders on when you're halfway through the program, when you need to be prepared for the next classes, what are all the different phases, when do you have to be ready with your, next class and things like that. Those are all things that when you're focused in the program and you're learning, are on the wayside. So I think these are things that they're critically important and, that helps you be more and more prepared. And yeah, and the happy hours, we had our own small tight-knit community where every week we would get together, learn from each other, share how we were doing. Especially during the pandemic, it was really, really mentally supportive on how to navigate everything just outside the classroom. So it was really, really helpful for me, and I felt really supported.
Cole, any final additions before we turn it over to Esther to walk us through the timeline?
Esther is someone that I come to when I have crossroads that I need to kind of get through. She's always a counselor and she's always like there to kind of talk me through stuff and give me, referrals for X, Y, or Z sources. When it comes to community, well, I'm actually like I started a company with a GSAL alumni friend of mine who's currently here, and we are actually we're hiring two UChicago undergraduate interns for the summer. So I'd say that the community is going strong.
Great.
Network is going.
Well, I want to make sure we get to your questions. We want to just put out the timeline information. So let me share my screen again. I'm going to turn it over, Esther, to you.
Yes.
We'll roll through that in about 5 minutes, and then we'll be right on to the questions that you're already putting into the chat. And my screen is back up, but it is momentarily in presenter view. So I'll get that right while you get started,
Yep.
Esther.
Okay, so the most important thing to note is that our programs are very flexible. So please don't feel the pressure, to say I'm applying, so I must take a class right away. No, we keep it very flexible. You take classes when you desire to take a class. You can stop out, you can come back 2 quarters later, a year later. We will be waiting and we will help you and support you to get into classes. So, as a graduate student at large and a graduate student at large business, you will receive all the academic advising from my wonderful colleague and myself in terms of choosing classes, connecting you to faculty, all the different workshops and resources on campus, all of that, right? And then graduate school, to identify graduate school programs, the actual application support. All our students have library access to check out books. We have an incredible alumni network. Ashwin and Cole are two members that our great, we call them our GSAL ambassadors, who are here to support you and help and navigate your journey with you. A whole host of virtual and in-person events that we curate for you and share with you. So our next slide, please. So the University of Chicago is on a quarter system. So we have 4 academic quarters. Each quarter is 10 weeks. So as I shared, we're completely flexible. This next quarter that we are hoping very much you might consider is our spring quarter. And the application deadline is March 3rd. The quarter begins March 23rd and it ends 10 weeks after that. So our next slide, please. Application process. Everything is online. A completed application, fill everything out. Statement of purpose, really 1.5 to 2 pages. Tell me who you are. Tell me a little bit about your journey. Tell me a little bit about what you studied, what you worked as, what you're hoping to learn, right? That's the statement. So it'll help us when we conduct our admissions interview. You have a resume or CV, put that in. We do require a bachelor's degree. So all applicants to our GSAL, GSALB, and returning scholar program have to have 4-year bachelor's degrees. So we ask for transcripts that you might have, completed transcripts, put that online. For our international students or students who studied outside the United States where English wasn't the language of instruction, we require TOEFL. There's an application fee. And then once you hit submit, we will quickly, within the next couple of days, contact you for a Zoom interview. It's about 15, 20 minutes where we go through your statement of purpose and actually open up the catalog of courses to have a conversation with you. The application process it should be very smooth. And if you are in the process of putting in your application and you have questions, reach out directly to us. We're always here from this point right until you join us. And I believe that's it, Seth. Oh, yes. So GSAL, right? Whatever course you take, whether it's undergraduate or graduate courses, it's $4,600 per class. And there is a graduate student services fee only attached to the quarter where you're registered for a class. This is for health, for the clinic on campus, the gym, all the libraries, the workshops, all of those services, $503, and that's for GSAL. Graduate student at large business, each class is completely in line with Chicago Booth's tuition because it's the same class, $87.35 per class. Our application fee is $75 for both applications and a lifetime transcript fee of $81. So that is the investment for our program.
Great. And we have reached the point of questions as we promised we would. And I want to start with a question in the chat for you, Esther.
Yes.
From Michael. He asked, can you talk about any prerequisites one may need for GSAL B?
Absolutely. Now, remember, right, our programs are really for students to explore and for students to actually feel comfortable in that field of study. So it's not necessarily remedial. So having said that, we look for a strong GPA, general GPA, close to 3.0. And of course, if you were an undergraduate 15 years ago, 10 years ago, and then you have significant work experience, we'll certainly take that into account. For our Booth courses, we specifically, the admissions team at Booth has shared with us that they would like to see Calculus 1, knowledge of Calculus 1 and statistics. So you'll be able to do the quant level of Booth courses. And I'm sure Ashwin can speak to how quant heavy those courses are.
Oh, so we have another question in the
Yes.
chat here about what the timeline is if people are thinking about autumn.
Absolutely. So for the autumn quarter, you can actually put in your application now and just choose autumn quarter. So we will then process the application, but then you will start with us in the autumn quarter. Or you can actually put in your application even in the summer, which will be the actual autumn quarter application deadline.
Great. We have a question here about whether it's calculus-based stats, and I believe the answer, Esther, is that these are two separate. You have stats
Absolutely. Yes.
and you have calculus.
Exactly. Yes.
You
College
just want to
level.
make sure you have both.
Absolutely. Yes. College level Calc 1 and stats.
We have another question here. I'm running into a bit of a scheduling conflict with my TOEFL test date for the spring quarter, is the March 3 deadline firm, or is there any flexibility in special circumstances? And can you talk to people that can apply and then get their TOEFL scores,
Yes,
Esther?
absolutely, absolutely. We do have, bless you. We
Thank you.
do have a couple of weeks that we can work with you directly. So I would definitely recommend putting in the application, and we will work with you individually to see how late we can wait to get the TOEFL in for spring.
But let me just recommend to that person potentially setting up time on your calendar
Yes, yes,
so that we can be aware and we can update the
yes,
graduate office. And I'll just put that again in the chat for you.
yes. Thank you so much. Yes.
I don't see any other new questions. Let me just ask a final round question here. Ashman and Cole, as you think about where you want to head in your future beyond your graduate degree, how did this journey shape, how you're thinking about what's next for you? Because we told the story about how this led to graduate school. Obviously, that is still a means to an end. Ashman, can we start with you? Where are you headed?
That's a great question. Yes, I think it opened up many doors for me. I think from a leadership perspective, just the confidence in approaching different challenges and using that booth mindset, through inquiry, through evidence-based approach. I use that on and off on my everyday experiences, even through personal life. So that is, in itself a boost. And yes, I'm looking forward to more senior roles, either at work or outside the organization, where I can exercise all that learning and experience. And I just wanted to say, through the program, you have to feel ready. When you're ready is when you can apply, and you're going through life, as you have to balance everything, right? Work, life, and school. So I think now I feel more ready for the next journey after I've done this, and more confident. So that's where I'm headed next.
Well, and Cole, I know you already started a business, so that may be one piece of the next chapter, but tell us anything else we should know.
I think GSAL kind of taught me I think the importance of starting small and just getting my foot in the door, and like how
Yeah.
powerful that is. And there are a lot of parallels for how that's going to unfold over the next couple months, over the next like really like 2 months or even like a couple days. So yeah, I think yeah, starting small and just getting your foot in the door and kind of expanding from there is just how you win.
It's a great vision. I always tell people have a sense of where you're headed long term, but be asking the question, what's the right next step? Not, what's the 10-year future? Because there's too many, permutations and you'll miss things if you're too narrowly focused. Anyway, Esther, final word. If people are thinking about this, what would you want them to know?
I would want you to please know that we are here to talk to you, to support you, and literally my team and I are here. So today, to everyone who is participating and also for those who will be receiving this video, please reach out. I think that first conversation is crucial. I think, and sometimes I have conversations with students for 6 months before we decide which is the program. It may not be GSAL, but then I have quite a bit of knowledge and understanding. So I might be able to share information with you about another program that might be equally interesting and important to you. So please, please do reach out.
And as we were closing here, we got a final question. I just want to call it out because the name Graduate Student at Large certainly makes it seem like this is a program to take courses at the graduate level, and it is, but it is also possible, and this was the question we got from Yuan, to take undergraduate
Yes,
courses.
yes,
And one of the most common is individuals who have a bachelor's already, but they want to fill in some of the prereqs for graduate study and
yes,
sometimes need undergraduate math
yes,
courses such as real
yes,
analysis. So
yes,
that is actually one of the top destinations
yes,
within GSAL, and it's a testament that you can also look at upper undergraduate classes as well.
yes.
Thank you all so much for joining us. We are thrilled to have you in the process of considering GSAL in your future. Esther, thank you for directing this program so brilliantly. And Cole and Ashman, thank you for being role model GSAL alumni. And Good luck as you both embrace those next chapters. We look forward to hopefully continuing the conversation with many of you. Have great
Thank you,
afternoons,
Dean
everyone.
Seth Green. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Everyone
you.
have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.